You know that feeling? No matter what the instrument is, or if you're a vocalist, you're either in a music store or on stage in a soundcheck situation, and it's your turn to make noise. What do you do? Hey, welcome to Crafty Music Tips. My name is Crafty, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it is that you should be choosing to play or sing if you're at a soundcheck or in a music store. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, but a music store and a soundcheck situation are completely different, yes, they are, but they also have a bunch of similarities. So I'm going to talk about the general stuff, and then we're going to pick apart both separate situations. Now, I think that my first tip is probably the most important thing. If you're relaxed, the situation is just going to be a lot less stressful, a lot less of an idea in your head where you think that possibly, it's a chance to show off or perform something that's really not something that you're ready to perform. So remember, relax, and everything should work out after that.
Hey, relax, guy, trust me.
So the next tip is to figure out what exactly is the purpose. If you're sound checking, the purpose is to basically just sound check your equipment. Like I said before, it's not an opportunity to have a quick mini concert to show off all of your best skills. And when you're in a music store, that's what you're doing. You're testing out the instrument, or if you're a singer, you're testing out the microphone. It's not a concert. So I'm of the opinion, if you're testing out equipment or an instrument, well, what you should be doing is executing something that's really quite comfortable for you. What I mean is something that's comfortable that you can execute accurately. Because let's be real here, if you play something that's too complex for whatever level that you're at currently, well then what's going to happen is you're not going to feel that great about it, and also the other people that have to listen to it, either the other people on the stage with you or the sound engineer or the other people in the music store. So I'll give you an example of something that I don't feel that I'm ready to be pulling out at a sound check or in a music store. This is the old the Mario theme. Bit messy. See? Some days I get it and some days I don't, and so I don't want to take that chance when there's other people around. And like I said, the job is mainly just to test out the equipment. So why not just choose something that I am comfortable with?
Think about it.
So what would you rather listen to? Even if you're a big Mario fan, I'm pretty sure you'd rather hear something that just sounded like it was executed accurately as opposed to struggling through something that you are familiar with. So getting a little bit more specific now, let's talk about sound checks. What is a sound check? A sound check's purpose is basically to just test the sound levels and tonal qualities. Now, it's important for the performer to be comfortable on stage, but it's really important that the sound engineer is comfortable, or else the band or the act isn't going to sound good. So the first step to your sound checking is to make sure that your equipment's set up. Then once it's set up, you've got to survey the scene. You've got to figure out, is it an okay time for me to start making noise right now? A time that wouldn't be good for making a lot of noise is if you've got people eating nearby. Or you can tell on the other side of the stage that the sound engineer is having a really important conversation with, say, another member of the band. So if the coast isn't clear, wait. But if the coast is clear, well then you're safe to just do a quick low volume test. And what I mean by a low volume test is just do a quick test to just make sure, am I getting signal through? Is it working? Then once you've done that and you can safely say that everything is working, well then stop. And wait your turn. Then when the sound engineer asks for you finally to make some noise, well then play something that you're going to be performing later. Seriously, it's not an opportunity to go, here's all of my fanciest licks. Unless, of course, you're a drummer. Then play, no, don't. Seriously, just play something nice and simple just so that you can make sure that the sound engineer is getting a really good representation of what you're going to be doing later on. And now is the time to make sure that you, the performer, and the sound engineer are both comfortable with the volume levels. And special note to singers, if you're up there on the stage testing out your microphone and the sound engineer says, okay, let it rip, and you just go, check, 1, 2. And then, of course, your first song goes, yeah! Then it won't just be the sound engineer that gets a surprise. That's right, your level will be so much louder and will probably give some feedback on stage. That ain't good. And also the audience is going to go, ah! So there you have it, sound checks. Last thing I'll say on the subject is be nice to the sound engineer and they'll be nice back.
Oh, be nice!
Okay, so similar to the sound check situation, but not exactly the same, is when you're going in to test out an instrument or some equipment in a music store. So what is the purpose? As I said before, it's not a mini concert. It's just a time to relax and to do the job of finding out what is the best equipment that you would want to be buying. So your first step inside a music store would be best to ask somebody that works there for some assistance if you have permission to be able to handle some of the equipment.
I know. I'll use the "May I help you" riff.
May I help you?
It's probably a good time to mention whether or not you're actually really serious about making a purchase.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now, if you're testing out an electric guitar or a bass and you're plugging into an amp, might I suggest check what the master level on the amp is before you turn it on. Because what some people do is they think that they're being really funny is that they turn the amp off when they're using it before you, and then they'll crank the amp up to completely full. And then so, of course, what happens, somebody that didn't check when they plug in next goes, "Woo!"
These go to 11.
Now, no matter what the instrument or if you're singing, what is best to do then is to do something that you're comfortable with, but also a bunch of different styles. So if it's a guitar, play something down here, but then something higher up the neck.
No stairway. Denied.
So for instance, if you've got a fretboard, it's a good idea to just play around. Something low and then. So if you're a drummer, what I'd be doing is I'd be trying to just incorporate as much of the kit into a bunch of things that are comfortable for you to play. So perhaps a few different types of beats, just so that you get a really good idea of all of the sounds of what the different toms and cymbals will sound like.
I like to play.
So after a little while, say a few minutes, 5 minutes perhaps, well then you'd probably have a pretty good idea of what the instrument can do. So what do you do then? Just play for another 5 hours? Oh, hell no! At that point, either try a different piece of equipment or just stop and walk away.
Just walk away.
Just remember where you are. It's not your bedroom where you get a really good chance to have a good long practice. It's just a test of what's in the store. Now, a big, huge suggestion is make sure that you put the instruments back.
Hey, this is not a lending library. If you're not going to buy that thing, put it down or I'll blow your heads off.
Because just as I said with the sound engineer, be nice to the music store and they'll be nice to you.
You be nice.
Every time we say goodbye, I die a little.
All right, there you have it. I hope a bunch of those tips were really helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below what was helpful for you. Also, let me know what's some experiences that you've had either sound checking or in a music store that were probably some ones that you'd like to forget. And while you're here, check out a bunch of other videos that I've already done on a bunch of other different subjects. And Crafty Music Tips can be also followed on a bunch of different social media platforms. Now, if you're one of those people like me that's really serious about improving your skill, improving your art form with however you're involved with music, well, I've got a bunch of free online resources that can help you in a bunch of different ways. And I also have a paid course that I'm really excited about. It can help any guitarist, bass player, mandolin, banjo, ukulele player. Look, anything that's got a fretboard, get away from the mindset of thinking in fret numbers and realizing where the notes are. And I'm that proud of it as well. Well, because of the name, because I've called it the Fretboard X-Ray Vision Challenge. So if that could be a help for you, I'll leave all the links to all of that below. My name is Crafty. It's been yet another music tips video. God, I like doing these. I hope it's helpful for you. I'll see you in another one really soon.